I'm Michael with SubGravity. Welcome to our DPV New Owner Orientation. Today we're going to unbox a DPV and go through its features. Hopefully this, combined with reading the user manual, will help you enjoy your DPV for years to come. Let's go ahead and unbox. First thing you'll see is a smaller box. Inside here will be a bag that is going to house your charger, saltwater lead weights, and the DPV tow cord. Remove the foam. I suggest keeping this foam in case you ever have to ship or transport your DPV. Then you can reach in, pull up on the handle, and you'll notice a warning tag on the DPV. If it's in orange and says warning, you're probably going to want to read that. Now that we have the DPV out of the box, let's walk through it top to bottom. We have a Delrin nose cone with a patented single latch closing mechanism, a hard anodized aluminum handle, super comfortable for carrying to the water or handing up to the boat. The tube of the DPV is made of Kevlar reinforced carbon fiber. The tail section is made of hard anodized aluminum. On the tail section you'll find both the speed switch, the LED indicator, and the power switch. On one of our models, the Ecos, there is only one switch that is both power as well as speed selection. Here you have the shroud supports and a carbon fiber shroud. On the tail section of the DPV, in this clear window, there is a LED battery indicator. It has 3 LEDs. When all 3 are illuminated, that means the battery has more than 60% battery life. At 60%, it'll drop to 2 out of 3 LEDs illuminated, and when it gets down to 20%, only 1 of the 3 LEDs will be illuminated. The Discovery, Reference, and Ecos S models will feature a torque control device that will be mounted on one of these shroud supports. Now let's open up the DPV and take a look inside. To open, we're going to pull this latch up and go all the way back before we turn. If you try to turn with it not all the way back, you'll encounter resistance. Once it's all the way back, turn 90 degrees to where this red dot is 90 degrees from that red dot. You pull straight up on this latch, and you can also pull on the handle. Pulling straight up, you will hear the pressure vent until the nose cone comes off. When you remove the nose cone, you'll see the handle comes with it. On the nose cone, there are 2 O-rings, a radial and axial. Inside the nose cone, you will see the weights. The DPV comes weighted out of the box for freshwater, but we include additional weight for use in saltwater. Please check out our video of how to weight and balance your DPV. To remove the carbon tube, simply pull up evenly from both sides. This carbon tube is actually slightly conical, so you'll notice there's a sticker inside showing you which side is the bottom, and if you attempt to place it on upside down, it will not go down all the way. Don't force it. Inside of the DPV, we can see the main parts. The main supports, the battery, the motor, and the switch housings. Our DPVs feature a lithium manganese battery pack. This has been chosen because they are lightweight, efficient, and stable. These batteries feature no memory. They are protected against overcharging as well as over discharging. They have an extremely low discharging rate or parasitic drain at only 1 to 2% per month. That being said, if you're going to store them for long periods of time, we still recommend disconnecting the battery. That or evaluating your life decisions on why you're not diving more often. The motor is a brushless servo motor that features a O-ring sealed integrated controller. The weights for the tail section are located on the lower motor mount. To connect your battery of your DPV, remove the protective caps, ensure that the power switch is in the off position, line up the connectors, press in as you thread the connector on. For charging, you will need to remove the connector. Please note, anytime connecting or disconnecting, ensure that the DPV is in the off position, and the charger will connect directly to the battery. When closing the DPV, don't forget that the tube is slightly conical and to make sure the sticker with the bottom arrow goes down. Make sure that the logo is lined up and looks good for those pictures. Push all the way down, and then you can attach the nose piece. The nose piece can go on either handle up or handle down if you need to mount something. When attaching the nose cone, ensure that it is lined up and that the lever is pulled out so that it can vent any excess pressure. When closing, the red dot will start 90 degrees away from the red dot. You will close that. Remember to have this pulled back as you turn it 90 degrees, and then you can close it. The body of the DPV has two switches. The red one is the power switch and is a 3-position switch. That is because this is the same switch used on all of the models, including the Discovery RS, which features 2 batteries. On everything except for the Discovery, you have off, and then on, and the Discovery switch, off is in the center, and you have battery 1 and battery 2 on either side. The speed control knob allows for infinite control. It'll move all the way around and can be adjusted while the trigger is engaged. This trigger has another feature called the quick shift. A double tap of the trigger will take the DPV to 110% for 30 seconds. Letting off of the trigger and going back on will return to your previous speed. This is useful when you need to catch up to a diver, pass another diver, or simply show off how fast your DPV is. After engaging the trigger, you'll notice a short ramp-up period. This is called the soft start and is designed to make it more comfortable when starting your DPV. The trigger can be operated right-handed or left-handed. It features a locking screw to lock the trigger off or to lock the trigger on. The trigger uses a magnetic reed switch, so there are no seals or dynamic O-rings you need to worry about on the trigger. Piloting the DPV is very comfortable with this trigger design. You simply rest your hand there. It can be done left-handed or right-handed. If you do a lot of left-handed driving, we recommend our optional left-hand extension. Now I'd like to walk you through some of the unique safety features of the SubGravity DPVs. One of my favorites is the emergency bypass switch. The traditional method of powering the DPV is with the trigger, but if anything happens to this primary control system, the trigger, the reed switch, the speed control knob, there's an emergency bypass switch. With the emergency bypass engaged, it'll put the DPV at about 50% speed, which will get you home. It is important to note that the primary on-off switch will still function, so you can turn the DPV off and back on with that, or with the emergency bypass switch. Another thing to note is that the primary control system will still, if that is still working, will override the emergency bypass switch. So if you engage the trigger and your speed is set higher, the propeller will move faster when the trigger is engaged. The intelligent battery management system is designed to prevent you from over discharging your battery. In the event that you run your battery down to this level, the battery management system will power off the DPV. An emergency hack for this is to turn the power switch to the off position and back on. This will give you several more minutes of DPV use to allow you to get home. You can do this multiple times, but only do it in an emergency as you risk damaging the battery. One unique safety feature of these DPVs that most likely you will never experience is the intelligent temperature management system. Rather than leaving you stranded with a DPV that completely powers down, the SubGravity DPVs will temporarily throttle the speed down, allowing the heat to dissipate. This allows the diver to continue traveling while the DPV cools down. An additional safety feature on all SubGravity Tech DPVs is the electronic prop stop. Here you can see that this DPV is powered on, and if something were to get in the way of the propeller, it electronically disengages that propeller. You can power the DPV off, and at this point you could remove the propeller. You're going to spin this nut clockwise because it has reverse threads. When you remove this, it's important to stow it in your pocket, probably your SubGravity Deluxe thigh pocket. You can then remove the propeller underwater, free the entanglement or jam, and when replacing the propeller, these grooves in the back of the propeller line up with the pin on the propeller shaft. Then when threading the nut back on, it's going to go counterclockwise because it's reverse threads, and do that until it's tight. And by powering off the DPV and turning it back on, you have reset that electronic prop stop so that when you go to ride your DPV again, everything is ready to go. All SubGravity Tech DPVs feature large, oversized knobs that can be easily manipulated underwater, even with thick, dry gloves. At any point during your dive, you can power off the DPV with the main power switch. For general maintenance of your DPV, the most important thing is a good freshwater rinse. Ideally, this takes place by submerging your entire DPV underwater where you can run the propeller for a few seconds. If you're not able to submerge the entire DPV, we suggest removing the propeller so that you can rinse the propeller shaft and seal. For more detailed information on the glide ring seal, watch our glide ring maintenance video. Another key maintenance item is the O-rings. There are 2 O-rings on the nose cone and the bottom of the body of the DPV. After each dive, you want to inspect these O-rings, pull the tube off during charging, which is going to allow those O-rings to rebound, and then you want to lightly grease them after cleaning them. For transport of your DPV, ensure that the battery is disconnected. Just remember, anytime connecting or disconnecting the battery, ensure that the power switch is in the off position. When transporting, ensure that the DPV is secure so that it is not bouncing around. Hopefully this video is beneficial for the new DPV owner or the future SubGravity DPV owner. For more tips and tricks like this, go ahead and like and subscribe, whichever corner that's in, or visit sub-gravity.com.